Develop your critical thinking skills with these simple exercises. The process of thinking that involves analytical evaluation of a situation is known as critical thinking. With critical thinking, you can perform better and achieve more. It also enhances your creativity. You can also outwit others with your efficient critical thinking and problem-solving skills. How can you develop critical thinking skills? Are there any exercises that help? Well, there are a lot of them, but if you want to teach your students, we have some simple, practical exercises for you. Try them out. For this critical thinking exercise, students have to establish a logical connection between different incidents and build a story. The students are given a set of incidents or a story, either written in parts or with the end undisclosed. Students are asked to explain the logical connection between the events of the story and think of ways to extend it. They are also asked to suggest a title and a sign-off line for the passage and add to it content of their own. This activity requires the students to think logically and reason every possible occurrence that can connect with the story. Each one may have his own ways of extending the story and ending it. Better yet, you can have each student come up with more than one way of extending the story. The second exercise is Socratic thinking. It is a process of disciplined questioning that triggers thinking. It can be implemented by challenging the students with questions on complex issues or hypothetical problems. The students are asked to analyze concepts, distinguish between facts and assumptions and give solutions for the problems. It can be an imaginary problem or a social or environmental issue on which the students are encouraged to think and voice their opinions. The Socratic thinking exercise prompts the students to reassess their views and look at their opinions objectively. The third exercise involves maths. Having the students count figures in a sketch or having them connect the dots in a certain way or so as to form a certain object, are good exercises to develop critical thinking and problem-solving skills. Puzzles and questions that encourage the students to think creatively are sure to help them enhance their thinking skills and develop critical thinking. Ask the students to draw a certain number of dots in a predefined manner and then ask them to connect the dots with a minimum number of straight lines. Another exercise is to have them count certain figures in a given sketch. For example, sketch a big rectangle and create smaller rectangles in the bigger one. Scenarios. For this, give the students hypothetical scenarios and have them come up with out-of-the-box solutions. Like Scenario 1, if you were to die tomorrow, 10 things you would do today. Scenario 2, you are left stranded on an island. God grants you 3 things that can be kept with you when alone. What would they be? Scenario 3, if you were given the chance to exchange roles with your best friend or partner, would you like it? Why? What changes would you bring in yourself? Scenarios are mostly creative thinking exercises that also make the students think critically. Fact or perception. Having the ability to differentiate between facts and perceptions or truths and opinions is important for developing critical thinking. The opinions that two people have may be completely different. As against this, truths are truths, they don't change from person to person. As an exercise to strengthen this ability, give the students a set of statements. In each set, include a mix of both truth and opinion. For example, my sister is the best one in the world, is an opinion, while my sister is taller than your sister is an example of a truth or fact. But then, the facts may change over time. For example, The milk is hot could be a fact that is subject to change after the milk cools down. But the Earth is a planet is a fact that is not subject to change. Sorting and grouping. Categorizing objects on the basis of fixed criteria is a good exercise for developing critical thinking. Give the students a list of different things or names, say a list of animals, and ask them to group the animals in various ways. They will decide the criteria to group them. In case of animals, it could be habitat, size, color, or even number of letters in their names. Have variety in the lists you give them. You can also give them a list of names of places or a list of numbers and ask the students to sort them into a certain number of groups based on various criteria. Compare and contrast. A comparative analysis of competing technologies or products can be a good exercise for developing critical and analytical thinking skills. Ask the students to compare LCD and plasma, or Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. Give them 2 music genres or movie names and ask them which one they would recommend and why. You can give them sets of things that have something in common and ask them to point out what is common to them. For example, September, April, November, June. Now anyone would know what is common to these, they are the names of months. But attention to detail is what it takes to notice that all of them have 30 days. We hope you got a clear idea about what exactly critical thinking is, and how to develop critical thinking skills. Also, critical thinking is not only about thinking analytically but also about thinking differently. It is about evaluating, reasoning and coming up with different ways to solve a problem. It helps you understand the problem, and that is the most important thing to do if you have to overcome it. This way, you will be able to solve even the most difficult of all real-life problems and be successful in the future. Keep watching our videos. Like and share with everyone. Don't forget to leave your comments below, and do subscribe to our channel for many more such amazing videos.